Hello, my name is Angel and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the end of the year book tag created by Ariel Bissett. I am using the questions that she's updated for 2025. I am super excited to review what I want to do for the rest of this year, my goals, how my reading plans have changed throughout the year, which it has definitely happened. So thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? I'm only going to talk about one book because I was reading the series The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon by Beth Brower, and I was loving that experience. I think I made it to the fourth or fifth book, which I had started, and I didn't continue just because the themes of grief and just how emotionally attached I was to Emma M. Lyon, I was just not in the place to read that, and I'm not sure that I am yet, so I'm not going to put that in this question just because even though I started that one and I am loving that series and those books, I'm not going to say that it's one of my goals to finish that book. I will come back to it when I'm ready. So the one book that I'm going to prioritize finishing this year is a pretty big one that I mentioned for the first time in my last reading vlog. It is Rivals by Dame Jilly Cooper. This is a big book. It is 704 pages, so even though it reads very quickly, it is like a British soap opera. Doesn't change the fact that it's a lot of words. It's a lot to get through, especially when I am also trying to get through other books. So I'm about halfway through, so I definitely can finish this one. It's my goal to finish this one. I'm having so much fun with it, even though it is very 80s. We are following the British upper class in the entertainment industry in this Cotswolds TV franchise area, all the drama that goes on there in the industry, but also just with the families, them all sleeping with each other and getting up to all kinds of different things. So just having a lot of fun with this one and need to read the last half. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? For this one, I'm going to say my most recent purchase and also one of my most anticipated releases for the fall of this year. And that is The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. This is all about storytelling, sapphic romance, and fantasy, which I think is perfect for the cooler months. We have a knight and a witch in medieval England. I think this book is going to be great and also fill the fantasy void that I've been feeling because I really got into, with fall and Halloween season, I really got into gothic fiction, which I love, but I'm ready to get back into some more fantasy, and I would really love to read this release in 2025. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? So I don't think so. I think that The Isle in the Silver Sea is the last one that I was wanting to grab. I know I listed a few others in my anticipated releases video, and I do still intend to purchase them, but at this point they have all been released. So don't have any for the rest of this year. I have some for next year that I'll talk about when we get closer to those releases, but I really can't think of any for the rest of this year. I think they've all been released, and I've either purchased them already or I haven't purchased them. I will when I'm actually going to read them. Okay, so this is a big question. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Rivals, obviously, and The Isle in the Silver Sea are included in that, but I'll talk about 2 others that I really want to prioritize and get through. They are both fantasy. The first being Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is the first novel in the Witcher series. We're going to see so much of the politics of the world, more of Ciri and Yennefer and Geralt in action. I'm really looking forward to that. Very excited to get to these books. They definitely don't feel as intimidating as some other fantasy series that are on my radar. So looking forward to finishing this one this year. And then I have a fairy book. This is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I purchased this one earlier this year, intending to read it before it warmed up, but I didn't get to that, so we're getting back into colder weather, so now I want to read this one again. I'm going to put this back on my list. I just love books with folklore, fairies. I've already read the first few pages of this story, and I already can tell that I love Heather Fawcett's writing. I love anything to do with academia and research. That's a big part of why I loved Outlander, is the first few chapters when Claire is back in Scotland and she's looking at the plants. Her husband is studying history, studying his lineage, which you know how that goes, but I love those scenes. I love the research because you know the author has done research, but it's also fun to watch the characters do research. At least for me it is. So really looking forward to this. This is academic rivals studying fairies, and the fairies are more like, well, I guess this would be more like traditional fairies where you can't exactly trust them. Need some magic back in my life to close out this year. Question number 5 is, what trends have you noticed in your reading this year? I did already briefly mention this, but I really got into Gothic fiction, which isn't really a surprise, but it's one particular author that I kept reading, and that is Shirley Jackson. Shirley Jackson writes these very eerie, unreliable stories where the vibes are all there, the atmosphere, the writing is great, and they really stick with you. So even though The Haunting of Hill House, which was the first novel I read by Shirley Jackson this month, a month or two ago now, it really scared me, it unsettled me, and what I loved about it is even though it is a haunted house story, it is so rereadable. There's so much you can take from it, so much analysis you can do with the characters, their relationships, the house. I really, really love that book. I was not expecting to, and that resulted in me buying and reading We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which I loved for similar reasons, and it definitely holds up, has that readability factor. And then I bought Hangsman, which I have not read yet, but I cannot wait to read. Definitely become one of my new favorite authors. I don't know that any other trends have really stood out to me. I think my reading for the year is pretty typical and representative of who I am as a reader. A lot of historical fiction, also switching it up with a graphic novel here and there, and listening to biographies or memoirs via audiobook, especially when the author is reading it. Let's move on to question 6. How do you feel about your reading goals? Anything you want to change, adjust, or abandon? So I went into this year with not a lot of goals for myself. I knew that it was going to be a very difficult year for me. I have had a lot going on with my family, and it's been very draining, so I didn't want to burden myself with what I consider to be my favorite thing to do, which is reading. Big goal for me in relation to my reading was to finally start a YouTube channel to talk about my reading, because I've wanted to do this. I first discovered YouTube when I was in middle school, but I've been too scared until this year. I really woke up and was just like, you only get one life, and it's literally me just talking into a camera. I need to just do it. Like, this is a goal for me. I need to do it. And I am so glad that I did start this channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. I really, really appreciate it. I can't believe that people want to watch me and hear me talk about books, and I'm so, so grateful. It's been a lot of fun for me. It's been a great creative outlet. But when it comes to what I'm reading and how I'm reading, I just gave myself a reading challenge goal of 15 books that is very attainable for me, and I have exceeded that. I'm very proud of myself for exceeding that. I think that having a lower goal really, it's great. I do so poorly when I set a very high goal. It makes me feel not great about myself. It makes me look at books in terms of numbers, in terms of quantity, which I don't want to do. I want to look at them in terms of quality and books that I actually want to get to. And I think I've done that this year. I have read 40 books so far, so I've definitely surpassed my goal, and I have loved almost every book that I've read. And the one book that I really did not like this year, which was Lucy Undying by Kirsten White, unfortunately, I've enjoyed her works in the past, but I did not enjoy this one. I really thought I would love that book, so that's just, I couldn't have predicted that. In the past, I've read books that I knew I wouldn't like. Like, I went into books that I just knew I would not like, that would make me angry, that would have tropes that I don't enjoy. And this year I haven't done that, and it's been great. So much pressure has been lifted off me. I'm not reading popular releases that everyone loves and then feeling so bad and not wanting to voice my honest opinion. I'm not doing that anymore, and I'm really enjoying it. So honestly, nothing I would change for the rest of this year. It's been a great reading year for me. This leads us to the next and final question, which is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? A little bit, not really. I always keep a journal with video ideas, series that I'd like to do, and I've noticed this year especially, this is my first time, like I said, doing YouTube videos, just how quickly it goes by and how I have all these ideas, but I'm not getting to them because something comes up. So I would really next year like to prioritize the series ideas that I've come up with, including reading the biggest books that I own. Also, I only did one reading blank books for a week video, and I would really love to do more of those next year. I did reading pirate books for a week, and I love that experience. I have a lot of books that fit into these niche genres that I would like to read for a week, including Arthurian retellings. Maybe not vampire books yet, too soon for that because I read a lot of those for fall. Could also do it for a general genre like fantasy. So definitely would like to keep more to the vlog ideas I have planned. That really helps me read books that have been on my shelf. Another goal that I haven't exactly written down, but I've kept in mind is my physical TBR. I own a lot of books, and I love that feeling of having completed a book that I physically own and see on the shelf, especially when you have guests over. I think every reader who owns a lot of books experiences this moment where you have guests over and they're browsing your shelves and they want to know your thoughts on a certain book, and it is so embarrassing, I guess that would be the word, to say I haven't read that one yet. I'm trying to overcome that embarrassment because I bought the book because I'm interested in it. Every book I own, I have an interest in reading for some reason or another. So it definitely represents me and my interest. I'd just love to say, yeah, I read that, and you know, it has this and this, and I think you would like it because of this. So I guess I would say, yeah, reading goals for next year that I've already been thinking about and need to actually write down is starting the vlog series that I have been wanting to do since the beginning of this year, and also tackling my physical TBR. All right, everyone, those are all the questions that are part of the end of the year book tag. I really enjoyed doing this tag. I love to watch everyone's videos as well. Really fun to look back on the year and to look ahead for the last month, December, before we start all anew in January 2026. I'd love to hear about your reading for this year, and if you have any plans already for next year, in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.